I'm making one last vid before I go to bed tonight. It took me a while to realize that I'm being burned on my hands electronically. I mean, for obvious reasons. But a lot's been said and revealed today. And whilst the gang stalking is, of course, going to continue because it's par for the course, I think people are genuinely scared. I think, it's always the same situation. Somebody gets hired to try to emotionally antagonize me. Then they're forced to go on my social media to check the progress of that targeting. And then they start to realize that this is a lot serious than just getting somebody annoyed and talking shit about them. Like, again, the people that are usually hired for this, the lower tiers, are usually desperate enough to do it without asking questions. So, yeah, I mean, this was always serious. And when people called me crazy, I used to take it so personally. It used to really bother me. It used to make me feel bad about myself. But the perverse thing about it is that it's only when I realize how serious that is that I feel the weight of those words lifting from me, because it makes me realize, with me being tortured like this and with me being targeted like this, and not just me, so many other people around this planet, probably more than we think, with so many of us going through this and so many people on the other side of the argument talking about paranoid schizophrenia and what that diagnosis leads to. It is an open air holocaust out here. Like, it is so dangerous. It is so much more than just some kind of personal insult. It is so fucking dangerous. And it's literally gotten people killed, let alone their lives ruined. But what we fail to realize is that this is a human thing. This is human nature we're dealing with. People, we live in a narcissistic global system. And in that type of system, people are going to step over each other in order to get where they need to go. And that's why we keep having a global purge, like about every 2.5 centuries. Because at the end of the day, people go for comfort first. They always go for comfort first. They'll go for comfort over the truth. They'll go for comfort over love. They'll go for comfort over even wealth and power. Comfort is everything to many of us. And that's why we end up in situations where a handful of people could get billions of people turning on each other to the point where they kill each other. Gang stalking is no different to that. Gang stalking is really no different to that. You know, people kill each other every day, so why shouldn't somebody file electronic weapons at me, like to try to control a narrative? Like, why shouldn't they fuck with my internet? Why shouldn't they fuck with my money? Why shouldn't they fuck with me? What makes me so special that I shouldn't be tortured? I was just at the library reading about the Holocaust and American slavery. It's all the same thing. It's just turning evil into hard currency. And that's what gang stalking is. It's turning evil into hard currency. If people, imagine that gang stalking becomes really, really successful. You're talking about the capabilities of directed energy weaponry in order to stop insurgency before it starts, stop protests before they start. You can literally level all your opposition at that point. From the position of, the top of the pyramid, you could literally level all your opposition if you get them at a subatomic level and a psychological level. And then you've got them beat. You've got their resources. When you have access to them, you have access to their genetics, you have access to their psychology. You've got their resources. It's another form of colonialism, only it's much more dangerous. During Holocaust, they didn't allow them to dance or listen to jazz music. Yeah, doesn't surprise me. And like I said before, in that Fourth Reich live that I made, the people who are talking about, you know, there are so many white supremacists hitching themselves to our movement, because that's how new political movements start. They hitch on to the people who are the most vulnerable. They hitch on to people who have figured out that the government is targeting them and that are whistleblowing. I'm seriously scared that people on my side of the curtain are actually helping the Fourth Reich out. We're not actually preventing anything. Because when we first heard about how corrupt the government is and how much they hurt us, we rushed into everything without thinking it through first. I mean, we did our research. We read up on all these people who were making our lives a misery and why they were doing it, but we didn't stop to think about what the long-term objective was. We got desperate out of our hurt and then acted like we were doing good for the world. And that's not how it works. Even us, even people like me, TIs, even people like me, we put our comfort first. And putting our comfort first ain't going to get this done. We have to prioritize the highest good for everyone. And sometimes the highest good means making tough choices. It means that it doesn't matter how hurt we get. It doesn't matter how much we go through, how much we are burned, how much our organs are pressurized by acoustic weaponry. No matter how much we're burned by DEWs, no matter how much we are debilitated by DEWs, no matter how much we go through financial abuse, we go through financial abuse, go through internet abuse, go through all kinds of abuse. It doesn't matter how much abuse we have to go through. We have to remain determined in our objective for the highest good of everyone in the world. We cannot afford to let that trauma and let that hurt inside us get us twisted up in a game. We can't afford to be like everyone else. We cannot afford that. We cannot afford to put our comfort first, because we've seen what happens when people put their comfort first above everything. It gets people killed. We cannot afford to do that. And everything that I'm saying, it's come way too late. It should have been said 20 years ago. It should have been like, people should have gotten wise to this 20 years ago, maybe even 30 years ago. They should have got wise to the fact that, yes, we are hurt. Yes, we have been hurt, but we have to think about the long-term objectives, and we cannot act out of our own hurt, because it comes back round on us anyway. We cannot act out of bitterness, and we cannot act out of our own comfort. We have to prioritize. If we really want gang stalking to stop, and I believe a lot of us do, then we can't be like everyone else. We can't think of our own comfort. We have to think about what's actually best. And it's a difficult thing to navigate. And what I'm saying is horrific, but at the end of the day, these people are at war with us. They're at war with the public. They've been at war with the public for centuries. So in order to kind of step into that mindset, you have to be of the mindset that no matter how much pain you go through, you do not give up on these streets. You don't give up. Whatever it is you have to do is whatever it is you have to do. You cannot get caught up in it. You can't get caught up in your emotions or your comfort, because that's what the rest of these perps are doing, and it's literally getting people killed. I know I keep saying the same thing. I've said it like about 5 times now. But everything that's happening to me, I'm talking about me now, I'm sorry, but everything that's happening to me, all the torture, all the abuse, all this horrible like treatment that I've been having, the lies, the abuse, all of it happened to me. Not because people are evil, because we do have evil people in the world, but that's not why. I didn't suffer because of other people's evil. I suffered because of everybody's comfort, including mine. That's why we suffered. I suffered because there was a choice between seeing themselves in pain and seeing me in pain. What the fuck are they going to care about some stranger they don't even know if they're family or is somebody they loved, or if they could end up tortured or killed or raped or God knows what else, have their lives completely ruined? Like, why should they care about me when they've got loved ones they have to protect? Comfort. We call it love, but that's comfort. What the fuck are they going to care about like millions of fucking strangers that they don't know when they've got people right here looking in the mirror at them or standing next to them, laughing with them, joking with them, spending their lives with them? What the fuck are they going to care about the plight of millions of people when the people they love are right here? And you've got a gun to your head saying, if you don't do what we tell you, we're going to ruin everything you've ever loved. What would you do? It's not like me to side with the perps. I could give a fuck about them. I care about me, my shit. But in order for me to truly understand how to win against my torturers, I have to understand the mindset of the people who are doing it. And for the most part, they don't know how deep this shit gets. Because you're dealing with different tiers and different walks of life. And the lower you get on the totem pole, unless you're a straight up member of the underworld, you're not going to know how bad this shit is. All you're going to know is if you don't upset some complete stranger, or if you don't fire weapons on some complete stranger, or if you don't steal or break into some complete stranger's house, you may end up tortured to death instead. That's all you know. Or you might go to jail. Or you might be deported. Or you might have your kids taken away from you. Or you might have your marriage torn apart. That's all you know. I had everything that was being done to me because of people's comfort and my own. That's why this happened to me. Didn't happen to me because evil, it begins with making ourselves feel comfortable no matter how evil or how horrible we actually are. That's how it starts. But anyway, yeah. MI5 are involved, MI6 are involved. Man, like I said, the Five Eyes are involved, man. US, UK, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Five Eyes, mate. Look them up. I don't think they're necessarily leading the charge. I think they're the managers of this operation, but I don't necessarily think they're the CEOs, if you catch my drift. That will be in the hands of defense systems, pharmaceutical corporations, AI companies. This shit is definitely real. And, having as many people on the government assistance as possible, it's like a stepping stone towards starving people out. That's that's one of the ways in which depopulation is happening. It's a stepping stone towards starving people out. They've been taking away people's benefits. It's not about like, and human beings are so petty. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about comfort. Human beings are so petty that if we see somebody more comfortable than us, it doesn't matter how it happens, we want to punish them for it. We're focused on punishment. We're punitive. We're penance based. And we always want to punish each other for stupid shit. Again, comfort. And that's why people are going to be starved out. Starved out, burned, frozen, disease-ridden, open-air Holocaust. It's going to start with an open-air Holocaust and then end with an open-air Holocaust and then end with a secluded one. That's how this is going to finish. So yeah, this shit is real. Shit is too real. But I gotta go. I'm probably gonna be burned as I rest tonight, but I'm used to their shit. I'm used to their shit by now. So anyway, I love you guys. You take care. Bye-bye. Oh, and shout out to Manivella7 for joining me. Bye-bye.